Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we have new information regarding the mid-engine Chevrolet Corvette, the C8 Zora Corvette, from what people are calling it. We actually got a leaked spy shot from the interior, and here it is on screen for you guys to look at now. That is going to be the official C8 Corvette interior, or at least we all like to think so, that this is going to be the final production version or something very close to the production version. So let's talk about the interior real quick. Let's look at the steering wheel, the new steering wheel. I'm going to put a picture up of the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray C7 generation steering wheel so you can compare it to the Corvette C8 Stingray. A little different design, as you can see, leather, and the paddle shifters. The paddle shifters, interesting comparing them to the C7 Corvette. The C7 Corvette ones don't look as nice as the, what I'm assuming here because I don't know if this is a fact, but it looks like it. The brushed aluminum paddle shifters that we see on this C8 Corvette. I'll do a nice little close up for you guys to see right now. And a little funny thing, I guess, if you pay close attention to the instrument cluster on the dash, you see a little check engine light, so that's pretty funny, but it's probably just when the car's booting up or something, and all the codes flash and stuff. So probably this Corvette's not out of action or anything, but it's just a nice little Easter egg I thought I'd share with you guys. I thought it was pretty funny. You have a little directional keypad on the steering wheel to the right. It looks like what I think it's being bordered by brushed aluminum, and to me that looks like a black plastic, which is very unfortunate. But then I look at the other side of the steering wheel and it looks like a glossy finish. So I don't know if it's the camera's angles playing some sort of mind tricks with my eyes and other people's, but the right one looks like a plastic material to me, but the left hand side looks like a glossy material. So maybe it's both, or maybe it's probably gloss, or maybe it's plastic. I really wouldn't want them to be using plastic in such a high tier performance supercar. There is going to be no more debating whether the Chevrolet Corvette is a supercar anymore. This is the first mid-engine production ready supercar from Chevrolet, so this is going to be a supercar. I don't want to see the plasticky parts that we know the GM of old for to be in the Chevrolet C8. But also, as we can see in the next to the directional keypad, well, not a keypad, but the little directional dongle thingy, we have three little buttons on the side to the left of it, probably for talking and Bluetooth and stuff like that. And we go to the left and we see another set of buttons. And also, if you pay close attention, you see these two little buttons hidden off over here. It looks like little toggle switches. Don't know what those are for, but I don't know, maybe it's some sort of traction control system or some sort of AC stuff going on. No idea what that is, but I guess we'll see when the time comes. As for the other left-hand side, for the other, keypad thingy, for the other arrows thing, there's no directional arrows on there. You have 4 symbols, and it looks like you have a scroll wheel, so maybe it's for some sort of settings or something. But yeah, that's the steering wheel, flat bottom steering wheel. Looks pretty cool. I like it. I think the leather could have been a little better though, and I would have loved to see some red stitching on the flat bottom part of the steering wheel. But who knows? Maybe they are reserving that for like a 3LT trim level. This could be the base model trim, and that's why we don't see it. But if you pay close attention to the seat, there is red stitching on the seat. So maybe the base models come with red stitching, or maybe this isn't a base model. This is one of the higher trim models. All right, so let's look at the center console here. An interesting note I want to point out is where you choose your drive mode. There's no shift or anything. It's all via button nowadays, like in other supercars and stuff like the McLarens, I guess. An interesting thing I want to point out here is that this kind of reminds me of the Lamborghini Aventador and the Urus and the Huracan start buttons, where you can flip up the little thing and you can press start engine button. I think that might be how the design is, although I can't verify that because part of the steering wheel is blocking the my sight from that part of the ignition button. So yeah, but you do see a drive mode. D for drive, obviously. It's going to be an automatic transmission, and you see an M for manual mode. Click that and you can manually control the shifts with the paddle shifters. Very reminiscent of the Aventador. I'll put it up on screen so you guys can see, in my opinion. Also, we have an infotainment system, the touchscreen over there. I don't like the trend where car manufacturers are just sticking on like what looks to be like an Android tablet to the dash and calling it a day. It looks a little cheap to me, not really my cup of tea, but you do have a nice big touchscreen there from what I can see. And yeah, pretty much everyone's doing touchscreens these days, so good on General Motors for being modern and for Chevrolet, putting this in their new supercar. Also, we have a little scroll wheel here. more than likely going to be for controlling what settings you can get with the scroll wheel on the touchscreen display, similar to what you see with the BMW control systems. And since it's a touchscreen, you're probably going to be able to just touch whatever setting you want anyways. So yeah, forget about all the buttons. If you don't like buttons and you like everything virtual, no problemo, we got you. I'm looking at the center console here, and there doesn't seem to be any room for a manual. Although I guess you could get rid of that little cubby space right there. I'll make sure to point it out to you guys. I guess you could tear that out. Maybe you can fit a manual transmission in there. Right now, from everything that we've seen and stuff, and especially this picture, it looks like the Chevrolet Corvette C8 Zora, that's what I'm calling it, is going to be a automatic only, which is very unfortunate. I know a lot of the Corvette guys and a lot of auto enthusiasts want the manual transmission option, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to be getting a manual transmission. But who knows, maybe they'll surprise us down the line. Maybe like a Grand Sport's going to have it or something. I also want to talk about the nice little glossy buttons on the console, on the center console over there. Reminds me of the Porsche Panamera center console buttons. Very reminiscent. I'll put a picture up on screen for you guys to check out right now. Very nice. I like the way it is. Some people don't like it. I have no problem with it. I think it looks fine. Granted, glossy buttons do get very fingerprint hungry, so that might be an issue if you don't like fingerprints. But then again, carry a microfiber cloth, and I don't think that should be a problem. From what I can tell, it's just basic settings, you know, like readjusting your seats and stuff like that. Probably air conditioning options too, so nothing that drastic. You see a little bit of the door handles there. It looks like brushed aluminum also. Pretty legit, pretty legit. None of that cheap plastic crap that a lot of people know GM for, so good on them. A lot of soft touch materials on the interior, which is a good thing, although I hope this isn't a plastic part, but I'm going to point it out here on the screen so you guys can follow with me. That part does look a little plasticky to me, so hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not, but you never know. You never know. And of course, the seatbelt looks really out of place there. The seatbelt clicker holder looks really cheap, but that's okay. It's just a seatbelt holder thing. That's not the main focus of the car. Also, I want to comment on the layout of the interior. It's very, if I dare say, Supra reminiscent. Very Supra oriented, very driver cockpit style oriented. I like how everything's focused towards the driver. It's very awesome. I mean, the new Toyota Supra, or some people are calling it the BMW Supra, you know, I don't think it's, I'm going to put up a shot of the interior and link the interior, not very reminiscent of the fighter jet cockpit style that the MK4 Supra had, which is a legendary JDM legend, and I don't think the Mark V Supra is going to live up to the legend of the Mark IV, due to the fact that it has a BMW engine mostly, and Toyota just seemed to phone it in, but that's another video. But yeah, that is the interior of the C8 Corvette. Looks pretty good. There is this rumor going around that the C8 Corvette base price, or I hope it's not base price, starts at $169,000. Now, to put that into perspective, you could get a Z06 Corvette C7 generation, the current gen right now, for 80 grand, or you could get the King of the Hill ZR1 C7 for 120 grand around there. That's MSRP. I know there's a lot of bad dealer markups up there, but that's the MSRP for those. So for the C8 Corvette price tag, you can probably pick up a used C06 for even cheaper than 80 grand. So yeah, it's going to be a big price increase if the information is correct. And also there's a rumor circulating around the interwebs that the new C8 is going to be revealed at the Detroit Auto Show, which I don't think could happen, since I think Chevy said it's not going to happen, but that'd be a cool, you know, surprise gotcha moment from Chevrolet. I think that'd be very cool. And also, I just want to touch up real quick on engine choices. I did see a video of the C8.R or Point R race car being tested on a track. And to my ears, I've heard Indy cars up close and personal, their V6 turbo systems and setups. It sounds like a V6 turbo to me, which leads me to believe maybe we'll see a base V6 turbo setup for the C8 Corvette. You know, their entry level Corvette's going to be a V6 turbo. Or maybe that's just for racing and they're just going to keep it strictly V8s for the C8 Corvette Zora. Hopefully they call it Zora. That'd be very awesome. You know, the heritage behind that name would be amazing to have on the Corvette, you know, the guy, Zora, I can't pronounce his name, Zora Duntov Arcus, I think. Sorry for butchering his name. He was a prime advocate of bringing a mid-engine Corvette for decades and years, and he never got his wish, but now he's getting it, and hopefully they pay tribute to the man with this new generation of Corvette. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below about the Chevrolet Corvette C8. I'll catch you guys later.